Well, kids, good morning. Welcome to our art history class. Today we are going to present our topics. So the first one is going to be Guadalupe Anciani. So please come here and tell us your topic.
Hi, I'm Guadalupe Anciani, and today I'm going to explain a little about William Turner and his life. He born and died in London, and he was considered the father of light because at the age of 14 he started to study in the Royal Academy and he was focused on the landscape. But then he started to put more attention to details and the difference of effects, the light and colors. So for that he was considered the father of light. He worked with watercolor as well as oil, and he started to sell some works at his father's shops. But then he started exhibiting, for example, The Fisherman at the Royal Academy. His college thought that his work of art were unfinished because he used all of his paintings were blurred and they were abstract. He thought that the nature was more important, so when he was painting, the landscape was more detailed and people looked blurry. All of his work of art were very expensive, and today most of his works are in the Tate Gallery in London. He used vibrant colors and warm colors, and he painted with quick brush strokes, scenarios as well as the port or everyday of a city or the countryside, for example. He could capture the spirit of the place that he was painting. People loved that. He was considered also the father of the Impressionism, and thanks to him, we study the Impressionism. Thanks for your attention.
Hello, my name is Magali Murua and I'm going to talk about Impressionism. Well, it was a period of light that started in France in the 19th century. It was considered a revolutionary and a rebellious style. And also the Impressionists painting everyday life, outdoor settings and urban life. Also, the painters didn't like to paint religious or historical paintings or portraits as it was common at that time. Also, in the paintings, the objects and the people were in movement. Well, it was called a period of light because the artists used a lot of natural light and they became masters of the use of light. And also, some artists made like several copies of the same paintings in different times of the day. Also, many people from the aristocracy considered that these paintings were like unfinished because they looked like sketches or abstract pictures. Well, also we can see in the paintings that some paintings have the backgrounds blurred because basically the artist wanted the viewer to have an impression of how they could see the picture and to discuss about it. Basically, they didn't want to show what they could really see. Besides, the artists used short, quick, and bold or intense brush strokes with vibrant and dominant colors. It was very different from the Rococo style that they used pastel colors. In the Impressionism, the topic was similar to Rococo style, like parties, people dancing, people in a bar, etc. But with the difference that Impressionist paintings use a lot of natural light. An important character of this period was Napoleon III, that he was a nephew of Napoleon I, and he created the Salon of the Reject, where the people could see the Impressionist paintings and criticize them. Because the French Academy of Fine Arts, didn't accept the new style, and it controlled all the art in Europe. But when Napoleon III died, all the revolutionary artists became famous, and also France became famous. All the painters of post-impressionism started to mix the colors, and they started to use exaggerated colors. Some artists started to use contour limits. They started rejecting the naturalistic rendering of light and color. Well, today rendering is like a non-realistic image of a computer program. Basically, it is like a sketch in a computer. Well, in post-impressionism, some artists started to increase color, or they started to use like thick pigments, and many artists use a special nib or palette. They didn't work only in outdoors because they didn't pay all the attention in the natural light. Like basically, post-impressionist artists weren't so obsessed with natural light like impressionist painters. Well, some other painters started to incorporate the use of dots or blocks. It was called pointillism.